Hello and a warm welcome to Tax File Special. I am your host, Lowry Bala Hassan. Tax File Special is where we meet the change makers, people influencing how Nigeria grows and how taxes work for all of us. And now, the news. The Intergovernmental Relations Department, IGRD, of the Federal Inland Revenue Service has engaged the Embassy of the Russian Federation in Nigeria to strengthen cooperation in tax administration. The meeting held at the Russian Embassy in Abuja focused on boosting compliance and fostering strategic partnerships. Evelyn Shija reports.
The director of IGRD, Dr. Umar Idris Ahmed, highlighted the central role of taxation in Nigeria's economy and reaffirmed FIRS's commitment to effective tax administration. Dr. Ahmed proposed areas of collaboration, including digital tax systems, capacity building, joint research, and taxpayer education. He also emphasized the need for institutional cooperation on environmental taxation and investment incentives. The Russian mission was urged to support these initiatives to strengthen ties with both institutions. The Russian ambassador welcomed the partnership and expressed interest in deepening economic ties. He stressed the importance of language and cultural exchange, noting efforts to integrate international languages in Nigerian universities.
The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zak Adedeji, recently received in audience the governor of Katsina State, His Excellency Dr. Dikko Umaru Radda, to the FIRS headquarters in Abuja. The meeting underscored Katsina State's commitment to aligning with the new tax laws and fostering a partnership with the FIRS to enhance revenue generation. Saama Chido has the reports.
Governor Radda praised Dr. Adedeji's leadership, describing the FIRS as the engine room of Nigeria's economic growth, and emphasized the importance of collaboration between state and federal tax authorities. During the visit, discussions centered on key areas such as digital innovation, voluntary tax compliance, enforcement, and grassroots sensitization. Both leaders agreed on the need to leverage technology to streamline tax process and improve efficiency. The engagement highlights the growing synergy between the FIRS and state governments in driving Nigeria's economy agenda. By working together on tax reforms and digital solutions, the FIRS and Katsina State aim to create a more robust and transparent revenue system. This collaboration is expected to serve as a model for other states, reinforcing the critical role of taxation in national development.
Meanwhile, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has recorded a major boost in government earnings, collecting over 14 trillion in the first half of 2025. This marks a significant leap in tax revenue, setting the service well ahead of its annual targets. Hussein Ibrahim reports.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service has announced a revenue collection of 14.27 trillion naira between January and June 2025, a 43% increase from the 9.98 trillion naira recorded during the same period in 2024. The performance far exceeds the baseline growth target of 16.4% and suggests the agency could outperform its 25.2 trillion naira full-year revenue projection. Oil tax revenue rose to 3.63 trillion naira, a 39% jump from last year. Non-oil taxes performed even better, hitting 10.64 trillion naira, up by over 44%. Monthly collections showed steady growth, with the biggest increase in March and April, where revenue nearly doubled year-on-year. By the end of June, the FIRS has achieved 78% of its annual target, positioning the government to potentially exceed its budgeted revenue, reduce borrowing, and fund key infrastructure projects. The federal government says it remains committed to enhancing tax compliance and expanding tax nets to maintain this upward trend in revenue.
Up next, Arabinri Aderonke sits down for an inspiring chat with our special guests.
Welcome back to Tax File Special. This is our exclusive interview segment where we bring you insights from the experts shaping tax policy and administration in Nigeria. Today, we have a very special guest, the Auditor General for the Federation, Dr. Shaka Kanyito Chira. Get ready for an enlightening conversation packed with expert perspectives on tax administration, compliance, and policy direction. Let's get started. Thank you so much for having us, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir, I'll go ahead with the questions.
Yeah.
So how does the Office of the Auditor General contribute to ensuring that revenue, especially tax revenue, is fully accounted for and utilized for national development?
Thank you for that question. And every government depends on its revenue, both oil and non-oil, to fund its activities. That is why, for the benefit of the people, the Office of the Auditor General for the Federation play a critical role in ensuring revenue accountability, particularly in the areas of tax revenue. Our contribution begins with the independent audit of MDAs, including Federal Inland Revenue Services. We assess the systems, controls in place, and issue audit queries where irregularities are detected, especially on revenue identification, revenue assessment, revenue collection, revenue accounting, revenue leakages, revenue underreporting, and revenue non-remittances. Through our audit report, we highlight revenue shortfalls, unauthorized deductions, and recommend corrective measures. Additionally, we conduct periodic and forensic audits that track compliance with relevant tax laws, ensuring that all revenue due to the government is properly collected and remitted into the Federation account or consolidated revenue fund, as the case may be. The Auditor General also carry out performance audits to evaluate whether collected revenue are efficiently and effectively utilized for developmental purposes, providing transparent and evidence-based audit findings. We support legislative oversight, strengthening public financial management to promote accountability and national development.
Thank you so much, sir. And we want to talk about audit and tax compliance. In what ways can audit findings help improve tax compliance and revenue performance across ministries, departments, agencies, the MDAs, and revenue-earning institutions in the nation?
Audit findings are powerful tools for improving tax compliance and enhancing revenue performance across NDAs. Revenue-generating agencies, by identifying the gaps in internal control, non-compliance with tax laws, instances of underreporting, non-remittance of taxes, our audit also provides factual basis for corrective action. For instance, when our audits uncover irregularities in tax deductions at source or failure to remit statutory revenue, we issued audit queries and recommendations that prompt MDAs to strengthen compliance mechanism. Furthermore, audit reports highlight system weaknesses, recommend policies reform that enhance transparency and accountability in revenue administration. These findings conveyed to oversight bodies such as the National Assembly, that thereby encouraging institutional reforms and enforcing action by holding accounting officers accountable for fostering a culture of compliance. Our audit contributes to minimize revenue leakages, improve taxpayers' confidence, and ultimately boosting government revenue for national development.
So we're looking at how you strengthen internal controls, huh? And what are some of the key internal control weaknesses that affect tax revenue collection, and how can they be addressed?
Thank you very much. We all know what internal control is. It's a system of control put in place by management in order them work effectively and efficiently. Some of the key internal control weaknesses affecting tax collection include lack of effective monitoring of revenue generating activities, weak enforcement of tax laws, inadequate segregation of duties, the absence of robust automated system for tracking payments and remittances. These weaknesses often lead to revenue leakages, non-remittance of collected taxes, and opportunity for fraud or manipulations. To address these challenges, NDAs and revenue-generating agencies must strengthen their internal control framework by implementing robust accounting system, automating revenue processes, and ensuring regular reconciliation of tax collections with remittances, strengthen oversight through internal audit units. Ensuring proper documentation and reporting are also critical. Additionally, capacity building and continual training for revenue officers, strict enforcement of sanctions for non-compliance will go a long way in improving transparency, accountability, and overall tax revenue performance. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so you talk about leakages in the system, which you also take us to the leakages, especially in the public sector. Sir, how is the office working to identify and reduce revenue leakages in the public sector, and particularly in relation to taxes and other government revenue?
The Office of Auditor General for the Federation is actively working to identify and reduce revenue through a combination of rigorous audits, data-driven risk assessment, continuous engagement with revenue-generating agencies. Our audit focus on areas prone to leakages such as tax identification, tax assessment, tax collection, tax accounting, tax remittance, and tax exemptions. We scrutinize revenue records, detect instances of underreporting, unauthorized waivers, delay or incomplete remittances to the Federation account or the CRF. We also conduct special audits and forensic review where red flags are identified, particularly in sectors such as oil and gas. That's where we always have a lot of problems. Import duties and VAT. In addition, we collaborate with key institutions to identify revenue inflows and plug gaps. Our recommendations are aimed at tightening internal control, improving compliance monitoring, strengthening the legal framework to ensure sanctions for defaulters. Through this effort, we are helping to enhance revenue transparency and secure government income for national development. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, sir. So we are looking at collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service now.
Yeah.
Sir, how does the Auditor General's Office collaborate with FIRS to enhance transparency and accountability in tax administration in Nigeria?
The Office of Auditor General for the Federation maintained a collaborative relationship with the Federal Inland Revenue Service to enhance transparency and accountability in tax administration. This collaboration is primarily achieved through regular audit of FIRS operations, where we examine processes relating to tax assessment, tax collection, waivers, remittances to the Federation account or CRF. Our audit teams engages with FIRS officials to assess relevant records, review tax files, assess the effectiveness of internal control and compliance with tax laws. We also share audit findings and recommendations with the service to address identified weaknesses, improve tax collection process, promote stronger internal accountability mechanism. In addition, we participate in interagency platforms that focus on public financial management reforms, where we provide insight on audit observation to inform policy decisions. This collaborative approach helps to ensure that tax revenue is properly accounted for, leakages are reduced, and public trust in the tax system is strengthened.
Thank you for that answer, sir. And it's quite interesting to know that your office work hand in hand with the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Yeah.
And looking at the recent development in the FIRS, they have been using a lot of technology software, AI-driven tax administration, which will take me to this question. Technology in public sector audits, as we know that we live in the digital age. How is technology being deployed to strengthen audits of revenue-generating agencies and improve accountability for tax collection?
Thank you for that question. Technology plays a vital role in enhancing effectiveness of audits of revenue-generating agencies and improving accountability for tax collection at the Office of Auditor General for the Federation. We are increasingly leveraging on digital tools to conduct more precise, timely, and risk-based audits. The office has introduced an audit software known as Nigerian Site Enhancement Audit Tool, that's NSET, which is part of the ongoing reforms. The purpose is to ensure proper documentation of audit procedures and maintenance of quality audit evidence. With the advent of big data, the office is currently in the process of activating the licenses of Interactive Data Extractive and Analysis ID software, which will also aid the audit process in ascertaining that the right assessments are being carried out. Despite funding constraints that the office is faced with, we see investment in technology as the way to go for the nation. These tools help us to detect anomalies, identify patterns of revenue leakages, and verify the accuracy of tax assessment and remittances. Furthermore, ongoing training in audit technology ensure that our teams are equipped to audit complex, digitalized revenue systems effectively. By embracing technology, we are strengthening transparency, promoting efficiency, and safeguarding public revenue. The office will continue to enhance its use of IT tools while recommending same to revenue-generating agencies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's quite exciting because there's nothing we can do these days without the application of technology.
Yeah.
So why is it important for citizens and corporations to see the link between tax payments, audit, and the delivery of public services?
Yeah, the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, INTOSAI Principle 12. The value and benefit of Supreme Audit Institutions making a difference to the lives of citizens shows that auditing of government and public sector entities has a positive impact on trust in society because it focuses the minds of the custodian of public resources on how well they use these resources. It is therefore essential for citizens and corporations to understand the connection between tax payment, audit, and delivery of public services because this awareness strengthens trust in government and promotes accountability. Taxes are the primary source of government revenue used to fund infrastructure, education, health, security. When audits are conducted and findings are transparently reported, they serve as a check to ensure that public funds, including tax revenue, are used essentially, legally, and for their intended purpose. By seeing how audit exposes misuse or mismanagement of funds and lead to corrective actions, taxpayers are reassured that their contributions are not in vain. This transparency encourages voluntary tax compliance and active civil participation. For NDAs, it builds confidence in a fair and accountable fiscal environment. Ultimately, the audit function helps bridge the gap between tax collection and service delivery, reinforcing the social contract between the government and the people and supporting sustainable national building.
Thank you so much, sir, for that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are all here to build the nation according to the national anthem. So which will take me to the final question and the main people now, our message to the internal and the external stakeholders. Sir, what message would you like to share with taxpayers, public servants, and the private sector on the importance of accountability in safeguarding the nation's revenue?
To our esteemed taxpayers, dedicated public servants, and valued partners in private sector, I wish to emphasize that accountability is not just a principle. It is a shared responsibility essentially to safeguarding Nigerian revenue and securing our nation's future. Every naira generated through taxes and other government income must be protected, properly accounted for, and transparently utilized to deliver quality public service and drive national development. Taxpayers must continue to fulfill their civic obligation, knowing that their contribution matters. Public servants must uphold the highest standard of integrity and ensure that public funds are managed prudently and in accordance with the law. The private sector, as a key driver of economic activities, must demonstrate full compliance and support systems that promote transparency.
Indeed, it was a valuable conversation with the Auditor General for the Federation. We hope you have gained useful insights into how taxes are managed, how compliance is enforced, and how these areas are evolving with the economy. A big thank you to our guests for joining us and sharing such valuable insights. We hope you found the conversation as inspiring as we did. See you next time.
And that's a wrap for this edition of Tax File. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I am Laure Bala Hassan. FRS, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.